Three of President Trump's more than a dozen accusers gathered Monday and called for a congressional investigation of their sexual harassment claims. Samantha Holvey, Jessica Leeds and Rachel Crooks held a press conference at the Lexington Hotel in Midtown and said it's high time the president be held to the same rigorous questioning and standards as other powerful men now facing similar allegations. If they were willing to investigate Sen. Franken, it's only fair that they did the same for Trump, said Crooks, a former Trump Tower receptionist who claims the president forcibly kissed her during their first meeting 12 years ago. Sen. Al Franken D. Min has faced multiple claims he forcibly kissed and groped women, and last week he announced his plan to resign. Crooks said she initially stepped forward last year after Trump casually dismissed his comments on the infamous 2005 Access Hollywood tape as locker room talk. In the recording, Trump was heard bragging to host Billy Bush about his penchant for kissing women he didn't know and grabbing their genitals. James Kevoe, New York Daily News. Crooks said now that the Me Too movement has gained momentum and understanding with the avalanche of allegations against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein and others, it's only fair that elected officials revisit the allegations against Trump. Before the election, our stories seemed to fall on deaf ears, she said. Now the tide has shifted, and men are being held accountable for reprehensible behavior, she said. Therefore, I ask that Congress put aside their party affiliations and investigate Mr. Trump's history of sexual misconduct, she said. They've investigated other Congress members, so I think it only stands fair that he be investigated as well, Holvey said. And I think also a nonpartisan investigation is very important, she said. This isn't a partisan issue, this is how women are treated every day. Holvey, a former Miss USA contestant, alleges Trump barged into the show's dressing rooms unannounced to leer at the women. She recalled watching the Miss USA pageant as a girl and dreaming of being one of the beautiful and confident contestants on stage. These dreams never included a man lining us all up to look us over like we were pieces of meat, she said Monday. These dreams never included a man coming into the backstage hair and makeup area while I sat naked under a robe as he walked around looking at us like we were his property. Holvey said she has a new dream now that this man will be held accountable for his actions. Asked if the trio planned to travel to Washington to make their demand to Congress in person, Leeds said she was more than willing, if asked. But it's not like we're running out with banners. None of us want this attention or are comfortable with it. But this is important, so when asked, we speak out, she said. Leeds recalled an encounter with Trump while on a flight to New York in the 1980s. She worked as a traveling saleswoman for a paper company and was moved up to first class, to a seat next to Trump, she said. Nicholas Cammett Getty Images. Once their meals were cleared, Trump forced himself on her, she said. He jumped all over me. He grabbed me and he was trying to kiss me, she said at the news conference organized by Brave New Films, a progressive non-profit based in Los Angeles. When he started putting his hand up my skirt, and it was the last time I wore a skirt traveling, then I managed to wrestle myself out of the seat and stood up, grabbed my purse and went to the back of the airplane. Before the press conference, the three women appeared together on Megyn Kelly Today. For us to put ourselves out there and to try and show America who this man is and how he views women, and for them to say, "Meh, we don't care," it hurt, Holvey said. So now it's just like, let's try round two, the environment is different. Let's try again. Read a statement from the White House denouncing the women's claims as politically motivated. These false claims, totally disputed in most cases by eyewitness accounts, were addressed at length during last year's campaign, and the American people voiced their judgment by delivering a decisive victory, the White House said. The timing and absurdity of these false claims speaks volumes, and the publicity tour that has begun only further confirms the political motives behind them. James Kevoe, New York Daily News. Crooks rejected the statement, saying she would relish the opportunity to provide more proof about her encounter with Trump in Trump Tower in 2005, if one existed. Then 22, she worked as a secretary near the elevator bank to Trump's private residence when she introduced herself to Trump. He held onto my hand and he kept kissing me, she said. After the encounter, she had in her boss office. I called my sister. I didn't know what just happened but I felt horrible, Crooks said.